when people order food, they don't care where the food is coming from. They're hungry. They want to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing we experimented with logistics was pre-ordering.
Mm-hmm.
You pre-order your food before a certain time,
Mm-hmm.
and your food gets delivered to you within a certain time
time.
frame. What that does for us is, yes, we are assured of how much we're going to make,
Mm-hmm.
and we know we could see a pattern. But it also meant that our growth was stunted.
Mm-hmm.
People could not, at the whim of desire, make an order like, well, I want to have 10 burgers. Like, it was, I want to have burger tomorrow. I want to have turkey tomorrow. Let me prepare for it.
Yeah.
It was not scalable.
That's kind of not how people think of eating.
So that was the first experience. But that helped us to manage expectations. People will get their food exactly the time frame that will tell them they will get their food, but it was not good for us.
Hello, I'm Hachi. Welcome to the Be Your Own Business podcast, brought to you by Oze, the #1 growth partner for small businesses across Africa. On this podcast, we'll bring you honest, unfiltered conversations from business owners about their journey, their struggles, and the strategies that have made them successful. On today's edition, I have with me Feranmi Ajetomobi, the founder of Knife Rise, one of the most popular fast food.
You could say maybe for our product, Suya burgers, like
Yeah.
Suya
One
burger.
of those popular fast food restaurants in Lagos, Nigeria. From how are you doing today?
Very well, and I just want to correct something. Co-founder, my co-founder is always very silent, but
Okay.
yeah, we're two
Okay, so
actually.
two co-founders. Okay, so
Yeah.
co-founder.
Yeah,
Feranmi, why didn't you come with Suya burgers?
I don't lead operations, so I will use that as an excuse.
So just so you know, Feranmi's Knife Rise makes this Suya burgers. If you're not Nigerian, then you probably don't know what Suya is. Suya is beef. This beef was made like grilled beef, made in like Nigerian local style. And Knife Rise makes this super famous Suya burgers. They're so good. I've had them. Had me hooked for a bit. And Feranmi could have done with it, you know. He said he doesn't need operations. I also don't need operations about this podcast. So I don't know if the episode is going to make it out or not. But yeah, I always ask everybody who starts this a question. And you're not allowed to answer this question by saying Suya burgers.
Oh, so random fact. They say don't get high in your supply.
Yeah.
I hardly eat Suya burgers actually.
Fantastic. That means I can eat the Suya burgers you're supposed to be having.
Yeah,
I should visit more often.
you should actually.
But yeah, so say you're having a bad day, nothing's working, your Suya burgers are burning, and you want to eat something to put you in a good mood. What's your go-to food?
I don't have any
At all?
at all. Actually, it's always like, for example, when I start, maybe like when I'm about to like get to know someone. Oh yeah, what's your favorite food? I'm like, I just go blank. But if I could work on something, there's a new item that I've been trying out. Of course, it's with Suya. It's Suya jollof. So I've made it I've made it so many times in the house. Even my cousin that stays around has gotten tired of it. I just wake up and like, okay, I want to make Suya jollof today. I actually make it with a base of Greek yogurt and everything. It's just been nice.
It's been nice.
Yeah,
I
it's
need
been nice.
I need some of that. Suya jollof sounds like an experience I should have.
You
and
should.
most people should have.
You should. actually.
Hopefully it's on the menu at Knife Rise sometime soon.
Well, let's see what happens about
All right.
that.
All right. So Knife Rise, food business. Did you always know you'd do business?
I wouldn't say I didn't always know for a fact that I would do business, but I used to have a very funny experience growing up. I would just try to. There was a time I remember my grandparents were visiting my mom's dad and my dad's dad. They were coming at the same time. So I set up a corner in the house and I said I was going to run a hotel in the house. I think I was like 8 or something. I wore shoes, wore my trousers, and I created a menu, did everything. When they came, I started to welcome them, give them like menus like these Feranmi's resort, something like that. So I'd always liked the idea of just creating experiences. So it was not about just like I wanted to create experiences. Even with the Suya burgers and all, it was still about creating experiences. I've just always loved the idea of that.
When did you run your first business?
My first business was actually Knife Rise, and it was in Knife Rise actually started in 2013.
Wow, 2013.
Yeah.
That's more than a decade old.
Yeah, but it did close down then because, my co-founder and I were just young. We didn't understand anything. We just liked the idea of cooking. Like, oh my god, we're trying to change how. And interesting that we started with yam,
Mm-hmm.
fried yam, akara,
Mm-hmm.
and sweet potatoes and plantain. In fact, our very first burger was akara burger. Like we had with prawns. Akara is bean cakes for those who are not Nigerians, by the way. So you like soak up beans, wash it up, then you grind it to a paste, mix it up, and fry into like balls. So they call it bean cakes. So we started with akara burger, but then we didn't know what we were just doing. We just had a business. We knew we had a business, but we something called over trading, where like you are selling but you're not making revenue. Like you're
Explain.
selling a lot.
How does that happen?
Um, it's it's more like you're not really taking into consideration the cost of your inputs properly. And
Mm-hmm.
because it's food prices change almost every time. Like you
Mm.
wake up today, particularly in Nigeria, food inflation is crazy.
Mm.
And you're trying to maintain one price. So you're not adjusting your inputs, or maybe like if for example you were using 2 cups to make a particular thing, you could maybe use it to 1.5. So you were just trading like of course you kept selling, but the revenue was not making sense. And
Mm.
we're not really like really as detailed as we are right now with the finance, which is a common problem with food businesses actually.
Mm. So just for clarity, mind you guys, this was 2013.
Yes,
You were
2013.
in school at the time.
Yes, we were in school.
So you were students running a business selling
I
food
dropped
to.
out then actually.
Wow. You dropped out of school. Was it to sell food?
Yeah, it was the self. You know that time where you drop out and you're telling yourself like that narrative that school is a scam and everything like
Yeah.
that. But I went back to school. After I went back.
Oh,
I went
okay,
back.
okay.
Yeah.
We'll get that. We'll get there.
Yeah.
So you drop out of school to sell food and then discover you're not making any money.
Yes, actually.
How was that?
Yeah, so it was horrible. And more because at some point the business then was cash in, cash out. Like
Mhm.
nothing was staying. Like we had to sell to buy stuff the next day. There was really nothing. So we'll get sales, I'll get the cash,
Mhm.
take it to where I was staying in the campus then. Because like I mentioned earlier, the business was operating in the campus different from my
From
original
where you
campus
stay.
where I dropped out from. And one night I slept with money in my bag, hoping to wake up to go to the market the next morning. And the money was stolen. So I was like, okay,
That's
this is what it is.
horrible.
Yeah, it was horrible. I was not willing to borrow at that point in time. I wasn't willing to ask because I already knew personally that we hadn't figured out the finances of the business. So borrowing was just going to put us in a terrible mess.
Mm.
I made up my mind to. I spoke to my co-founder. Then I had a friend, very wonderful friend, Omotala. She helped with finances. Then explained to her. She was like, "Okay, we're young. Like we didn't think much of it. Now if it happens now, of course, there'll be more trouble and like
Mm.
concern. But then we're just like, I mean, this business started with a grant of 500K from the church I attended then, and my co-founder, a very smart guy, his scholarship money. I got some from funding from scholarship and just gave. I also put some of my money in it. Then that was close to a million. Close to a million then was like huge
That's a lot of
money.
money. Yeah,
Yeah,
2013.
2013, and we're
That was
just
a lot of money.
students. Yeah, it was a lot of money for us students. Yeah, that happened.
So the money you lost was close to about $1 million.
Yeah, close to 1 million then.
So you're making $1 million in sales.
Not making, we had spent money to like set up the shop, buy gas, and items,
Okay.
so capital expenditure then also.
That must have been devastating. Two things. I'm going to come back to the funding thing, but you talked about having what did you call it?
Over trading.
Over trading.
Yes.
So you were selling, but you weren't making money and you were not aware. What could have helped you? Like, do you think if you were recording, if you had a better sense of your finances, that would have helped you at the time?
Yeah. So, a dynamic costing in the sense that like then you did one costing and you just went into the business. But now what should happen, particularly for food, is every week you're just reviewing what is happening. Something like you just plug and play. You put your cost for today, next week you look at, okay, we went to the market, this was what to purchase in the market, this was the price change. Let's update our pricing. Let's now look at our margins have reduced, our margins have increased. It should happen weekly. It should happen weekly, depending on the size of your business. You do it constantly, but it should be like a dynamic costing tool.
Yeah, so you always know whether, because the way I assume, maybe last week you went to the market, got items, you made sales over the week. You may be in profit this week. You go to the market mixer, you may not be in profit, but you're not aware because you maybe you checked your profit last week. Oh, I made profit last week, but this week you've made a loss
Yeah.
because maybe price of certain things have moved and you're unaware,
So you
right?
might not even be in loss sometimes. It might just be like your margins have
Have
reduced a bit,
reduced. Oh,
and it might just keep shrinking, and you might not notice sometimes. But if you're paying attention to it, like on a weekly basis, from a technical perspective, you see how like your margins are actually reducing. Because in food business is kind of business where you hear people say that they made 100 million in revenue, 10 million in revenue, and you're like, okay, what's your profit margin? And it's so tiny. The margins on food, contrary to what people think, is not as high as people would like it to be.
this is so interesting because I recently saw the financials for one of the biggest QSRs. For people who don't know, QSR is a quick service restaurant. So you think your KFC, your Chicken Republic, Mega Chicken, these big brands with like branches. I think it was one of the bigger QSRs in Nigeria, and I saw their revenue. The revenue was like something billion, and then profit was like less than 3% of the whole revenue. It was really, really little. And I think because I was having a conversation with somebody on that. The question was like, oh, for businesses like this, you really need skill to be able to make money. But let's come back to your business, right? As of when was this when your money got stolen? Was that 2014, 2015?
2013 till
It was still
2013.
2013. So first year of business.
First year of
Hadn't
business.
even done anything.
It was first year of business. Actually.
and you shut down the business after that.
Yeah, so shut down business because it was devastating for me. I think I took about a break for about a year.
Okay.
I just didn't talk to anybody. Took off my phone. I left. I remember I left Lagos then for Abuja, and I was in Abuja for close to a year. Took JAMB again, took WAEC again, applied back to Unilag to intentionally study economics because I was like, okay, this finance thing, even though I was not going to study finance, I want to study finance or accounting. But I realized then that if you study economics, you can actually diversify into any of them. So I just went for economics then, and that was it.
Okay. And when did you start your business again?
A friend of mine, his name is Oreolua. People call him Icon. The guy runs a movement called Street Church. So he's looking to start a salon in Yaba. And he wanted an idea of something like a man's cave where like after you cut your hair, you just come out to grab some turkey, grab some anything just to eat, kind of thing. So we did that and we got hit again. Not like stolen money this time. Because we started it in, I think, early 2019 or 2020. I can't remember the exact time.
Probably was 2020.
And COVID happened. So we just started the business fresh. Forgotten everybody. We're just doing our fries. Just fries. Then we're not even started the Suya burgers at that time. So fries and all. And COVID happened. So everybody went home. There was no business today.
There was no business because people were home now.
At home, it felt interesting that people wanted to like food needed to be had. Like we were just tired. Like, okay, they were cooking. Like, okay, let me just try something. So I started to cook at home, make videos of what I was cooking in my house. I was staying in a family house. I was cooking for about like 20 people in the house. The house was very big, like a 10-bedroom duplex. So I was cooking for a lot of people. So I would cook, post on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, and people were like, oh, I like what you're making. Make goat meat sauce and everything. Then one day, we wanted to have, this is the background of how Suya burgers happen. And then I even know that people are making Suya burgers already. In school, we used to buy this thing, they call it risky burger. You have bread, put eggs, put Suya, and just even do bread and the Suya. And then I used to notice that like swallowing the Suya and the bread used to be very tough because the Suya was dry. So I wanted to have the same experience, but I didn't want to fry it on a pan the way they do it in schools. And I remember them SpongeBob. If anybody watches SpongeBob, you have this like party they always do like on open. Yes, curry parties on open flame. So I got Suya, got some vegetables, got some mayo, ketchup, just to like make sure that when the Suya is in the bread, it's easy for us to digest. I put it in between the bread and I tossed it over open flame grill. And it felt good. I'm like, okay, this is nice. Let's send it to I sent it then I was in a relationship. I sent it to someone for her to taste. And she was like, this is going to be Knife Rice's biggest minute. And I serious, yeah. So put it on Twitter, started sending to different people. on Twitter that I knew that were not overly popular, but were somewhat popular, and they were like thought leaders. They got the food, they would tweet about it. Oh, I just tried knife rice burger. I tried knife rice goat meat sauce. And people started to now ask online that. So it was intentional, me giving those people. I wasn't like the conversation to happen. So people started to now ask that, oh, I'd like to try knife rice burger and everything like that. Thankfully, around that time it coincided when there was now beginning to like an open up of people to come out. So we set up a wait list that people should order for anything knife rice. We printed out stickers, we printed out everything that order for anything knife rice with a flat fee of 2,500 naira. So anything you want to order.
This was what year? 2021.
Just 2020.
2020. Okay.
Yeah, 2021, 2020. Yeah. So 2021. Yeah, 2021. Right. So order anything you want. Whenever that's 2,500 naira. We thought we could do it. We got the list, and I think over close to 200 people ordered. So we started delivering from. We completed the orders over 3 days. We could not finish.
I think I was aware of this.
Yes,
time.
it was very.
I'm not sure if I ordered, but I think I was aware.
It was very overwhelming then. Like we had to beg people. We are sorry. This one, that one. So it was crazy. And given the craziness of logistics riders in Lagos, which is a story that needs to be heard.
Yeah,
it needs to be heard. So that was it, and that was how knife rice came back into the picture again. And since then, it's been.
And since then, you've just.
Yeah, we've tried.
We've tried. I remember the first time I probably had knife rice was outside that man cave. I came to have my hair cut.
Yes, most likely.
Yeah, and then I got I think I got Suya burger and turkey at the grill was just
opposite.
Yeah, that was so good. Good times.
I think we should try that again. Actually,
we should.
It was a very good experience.
We should. But yeah. So you've done knife rice for on and off for 12 years.
That first year was a joke. So let's
it counts. Say, you learned important lessons in that first year.
I agree. Actually,
don't put your money under your bed.
Well, fair enough. So it started in 20. Let's just say yes, 12 years, give or take.
12 years, give or take. What was your? I mean, I assume your money being taken from under your bed was probably your lowest moment. Was it?
No.
Oh, what was your lowest moment as a knife rice owner?
So one time in 20, I'm very bad with dates. My co-founder knows what the dates. It was in 2021, 2022. We had just come across some money as individuals, so we decided to the man cave that we're talking about. We decided to upgrade it, change the roofing, put some, just do some heavy work there. While we're doing the heavy work, our landlord, we've gone very far, our landlord comes and says, we actually want to sell this house to a developer. We have been working on sell. I'm like, wait, we just invested how much? And it's not the kind of investment that you can say, let's remove.
Yeah.
So I don't even know, this raffia roofing, where you can't just remove it. That's the end. It's there or it's gone. So that happened at one time. Fire almost burned the entire raffia. So money, you said?
Yeah, I think I remember the fire
incident.
Yeah,
so that happened, then followed by the guy that was heading our operations was stealing our money. So I was forging receipts and was stealing. So everything else happened at once, and it was money just
at the same time,
at the same time, it was back to back. Actually, it was back to back. So it was a lot of money just went poof. Again, we're still young guys. We're not. How much was my salary then? It was less than $1 million or something. So, and collectively on all of that, we had lost close to about 5-6 M again or 8 M. Just lost from the innovations and everything. Then Nigeria's money was still very, at least slightly valuable, better than now. So that was a very low moment. We had to leave that shop. We now had to start operating from another place. But over time, we started to recover, because I won't lie, that really hit us psychologically and everything. But our model has simply been, if you have a business that you're running, and you don't have a kitchen, we'll come and plug it for you, would operate the kitchen for you, set it up, and then we'll run our business from there. So that way we don't get to invest heavily in real estate costs anymore. So we take off that risk is taken off from our hands. We partner with people that have real estate already and just run the business.
So if I get it, your model, your products and your model have evolved over time. right? So
Yeah.
the model went from you first. Your first model was like, I guess, street food,
Yeah.
right? Then you went to partnering with having your own space with the
Mm-hmm.
man cave,
Mm-hmm.
right? Next to that, and selling out of that.
Yeah.
And now you're in a place where, oh, you have a place for yourself. We just come in and make the food.
Yeah. So we like to see ourselves as like, in quotes, kitchen advisors. We've done a couple of businesses.
Oh,
One of the
interesting.
businesses is a very popular on City Lounge, that
Okay.
where we just like, you're about to set up, maybe you want to set up a lounge and you have no idea how to set up a kitchen.
Mm.
We just work with you, set
Mm.
things up, advise you on your menu. Then in exchange, we set up our own kitchen also to
Mm.
operate there, because we are more of a cloud kitchen where people order and
Mm.
get food from
Yeah.
us, and they'll have like a profit sharing model with that
Mm.
business.
Okay. So right now, what you do is you work with a restaurant. Knife Rice handles the food
Mm-hmm.
for the restaurant, but also out of there, you also like do, because you have an online platform.
Yeah.
How do people order from you online? Is it like, do you own your own website?
Yes, we have our website and we use like delivery platforms, that online
Okay.
delivery platforms. But now we're even evolving beyond restaurants to like workspaces. So workspaces sometimes want to run like food courts
Mm.
for people that
I
come
come
in
there
there
to eat. Come there to
and they
work.
have no idea what to do. They're like, okay, should we just rent it out? We're like, no, don't just rent it out. Why not just like a recurring profit structure?
Mhm.
And we set that up.
Yeah, that's pretty brilliant actually, because like I think one of the things that stops people from setting up a business or from starting out a business is cost. And this kind of shared partnership model allows anybody really, right? If you have the expertise to set up a kitchen,
Mhm.
right? To set up a kitchen, you have space. I can set up your kitchen. Only other addition is I will be running deliveries out of here, right? And
Exactly.
there's very little marginal cost that
Mhm.
comes to the person who runs the building. In fact, they make more money.
Yeah, because you will buy your gas and everything.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, that's
Interesting. This is interesting because I think from how I said, is also like it expands how you can now think of different businesses. Right.
Mhm.
I mean, not every business can do this, but I think that if you think creatively about any business, you can find a way where you reduce risk. Because again, this is, you said earlier, you this has taken away the risk of now your your landlord cannot chase you away. I mean, they can, but
Yeah,
it doesn't. You're not invested in the real estate.
exactly.
If there's, I mean, there won't be a fire, but
Mhm.
if there is any damage to the property, you don't incur any cost, except maybe agreement states otherwise.
Yeah.
And so there, but to a large extent, your risk is reduced.
Reduce. So it doesn't mean like, yeah, it's reduce, and although we're still going to like set up a proper like I said, right from when I was younger, it was about building
And
experiences
experience,
for
yeah.
people. So I still have that dream of a knife rice place where you just come, you see the open grill, like where they're doing the entire Suya, and the idea is you sit in the middle and the whole kitchen is around you.
Interesting.
So it's in glass and so that will still happen, but that'll be more for the experience. But the entire commercial scaling part, I still think the partnerships will always work for us.
Interesting. Um, you've been, I mean, you said the first year didn't count, but so many years now you've been running Knife Rise. What have been some of your biggest challenges that you've overcome? Like, I mean, let's always start from a challenge bit. Like running a food business, you've talked a number of things. You've talked logistics. First of
Mhm.
all, let's talk about logistics. How does logistics affect the food business?
When people order food, they don't care where the food is coming from. They're hungry. They want to eat.
Mhm.
So the first thing we experimented with logistics was pre-ordering.
Mhm.
You pre-order your food before a certain time,
Mhm.
and your food gets delivered to you within a
Within a
certain
certain
time
time.
frame. What that does for us is, yes, we are assured of how much we're going to make,
Mhm.
and we know we could see a pattern. But it also meant that our growth was stunted.
Mhm.
People could not, at the whim of desire, make an order like, "Oh, I want to have 10 burgers." Like it was, I want to have burger tomorrow. I want to have turkey tomorrow. Let me prepare for it.
Yeah.
It was not scalable.
And
It
that's
wasn't.
kind of not how people think of eating.
There's no. So that was the first experience, but that helped us to manage expectations. People will get their food exactly the time frame that will tell them they will get their food, but it was not good for us. Then we explored with Logistics Hub. Then back then, very great company. They handle deliveries for Cold Stone
Okay.
and Co. They started to deliver for us, and what they did was that they gave us riders that would work with us for a day, and then we'll pay after an agreement.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting thing is that before ChildX started the entire business of
Food
delivering to
delivery. Yeah.
people, one of the first, I can say about like the first restaurant, one of the first two restaurants ChildX started to experiment with
Oh,
when
interesting.
we were at the man cave. So they were giving us riders and trying to understand how businesses like us operate. So we and Crazy Spaghetti back then, they were trying to. So we saw that model of assigning riders to us would not necessarily work. The best thing was a customer orders and a rider immediately comes, picks up, and goes. That was why we had to know like work with Charlie. But at the same time, we now had to like find people that we could trust, logistic rider that we could trust, where like the incentives were like, oh, I have a child that is going to school, I need money for school fees. We just give them like some support and everything. So like they felt they were invested in the business because we were catering beyond the business.
Beyond the business.
So one or two people, and their own job was where Chowdeck and Co could not get to, they would get there. So people ordering for those locations knew that food might take a while, but that was how we did. So it's a complementary structure between Chowdeck,
Yeah, it's like
Glovo, and others, and our own riders. Because the things we've seen, I've gotten a time where a rider took the meal around 4 o'clock, and by 10 p.m., he started to mention that, oh, some people seized his phone, they told him to kneel down, and I'm like, they told you to kneel down, you're an old man. So, like, and the customer was angry.
Yeah, because the customer doesn't care about that.
Yeah, and it used to cost
and they've
us
been hungry for 6 hours now.
it used to cost us a lot of refunds then. We had to refund. So it was double cost. We've made the food. We would now have the food would not get, the customer would not accept the food. I'll have to refund their money. So it was terrible for us then. So Chowdeck and Glovo and Co, they're all blessings for us. And even Uber, the idea of Uber ride hailing, even though there can be some issues, but it's better than the other time where we had to handle logistics ourselves.
Yeah, so outsourcing logistics with reliable partners.
Always know there's nobody that runs a food business apart from Domino's that will tell you that you should not outsource your delivery. Even Chicken Republic try to run their logistics, but now they don't run their logistics again.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, it does make sense to outsource to people who that's their main business. Also, frees up time to focus on what the core of your business is. Another thing you mentioned was, and again, I'm sorry to bring up bad memories, your operations manager.
Yeah.
Stealing from you. How do you steal from a food business? You said it was forging receipts. How does that even work?
So about forging receipts, when the way we built our websites, there's a wallet system. So when we get payments, it will set in a wallet, then we withdraw it to our account.
Thanks.
As the operations person, he definitely had access to that. Like you withdraw it to the account, they now distribute for, go make purchases in the market and everything like that. So at some point, we noticed that money was going to a particular account. And we thought it was a hack because we couldn't recognize the account. Every day was happening. So we thought it was a hack. We reported to the bank, found out that the person was a POS agent. Right? We got to the POS agent and we accosted him like, how you? Like, no, there's a particular person that sends the money to him every day and it comes to withdraw. Okay, wait for the person. And lo and behold, we saw our operations manager coming from somewhere to come and take the money. It was so weird because he was young and we just felt like his mom used to run a shop beside us. So he came as an intern, grew up in the business and just got very good at it. So it was very weird that this was the guy stealing from us.
How did you handle it? Did you fire him?
Oh yes, we did. We were supposed to even take it like up legally, but we did not take it up. And that was where a mistake now happened. So he did that. And this is why I say like you don't mix emotions with business. And that's why till today, I prefer my co-founder handling operations. I handle like marketing, the part that has to do with emotions. So his mom came, appealed and everything like that. We said, okay, let's test him again. And that's when he started forging receipts. So people would pay. And because it's the guy confirming the account, it's the guy handling the finances, he'll be like, oh, this person has paid. He'll show a receipt with us that, okay, this person has paid. They should process the order.
Mm-hmm.
Then we didn't like how I put our order management system was a bit down, so they were like manual transfers into our account. I know some people come on social media, no matter what you do, whether you have a website,
Mm-hmm.
some people always come on social media and say, please, I want to order via social media. So that was happening, but it wasn't adding up. Like we would try to calculate revenue at the end of the week. It wouldn't make sense. Something is missing somewhere. Thank God we had a good record keeping system as at that time,
Mm-hmm.
even though we were able to point it out. Like, this is how much we put, this is how much you're supposed to get back. It was not making any sense. And then we found out that, okay, this guy was forging
It's
receipts.
forging receipts.
Yeah.
Did you take it legal then?
Again, no. But we never
Hired him again.
hired him again. I wish we had taken it legal then, because if we had done that, there were a couple of people, apart from him also, that were like small guys within the business that were just like taken from somewhere or the other. They just got comfortable. Like the way stealing happens in a food business, particularly when it is facing the streets, like when it's open, is very interesting. So it could be, we give you a carton of fish to grill.
Mhm.
We expect you to bring, let's say there are 25 pieces in that carton of fish. That means we expect you, and selling at 10,000, expect you to bring 250,000 back, right? The person that's selling fish can bring his own fish. Like they bring like 4 pieces of fish and they sell. So they're not stealing your inventory.
They're stealing your time.
They're stealing your
customers.
customers and time. So they sell and they make it happen and all that. So it can be a very tricky process of, for example, saying don't pay into personal accounts no matter, because of course for them to make that payment and they have to pay into the personal accounts. So don't pay into personal accounts. That's one part. Another part is that the person, if it's okay, use POS, they can get their own POS. And you would not know. It's when the receipt is printed that you now find out that, so it could be 9 fries, they could register a business called N1 fries.
Has that happened?
It happened to a friend. So N1 fries. And when the receipt comes up, because it's just N1 fries, you just see it as 9 fries.
Yeah.
You just go.
And make the order.
And make the order. And you think that you have paid, that you're not paying to any personal account. Whereas they're selling their own inventory and your business is just...
That's so horrible.
There are many ways I can go on and on.
Let's say one side is, what do you think makes people do this? The employees.
If you're young, for example, what I've realized that some of them think that you're in fraud. It's not justifiable, but some of them think that you're into fraud. A friend of mine, I hope you interview him, Yinka City Lounge. I remember a time that some people thought that maybe, okay, this guy is doing fraud now, so if he's stealing, we can steal from him. That's the idea. Like, we can
justification.
Just some kind of like false justification that they can do that. That's one. Another one is, I think people are just greedy. I just think people are greedy. I think people are greedy. There's no justification for stealing from a business. You can borrow from a business. You can say, I need this, I need that. I prefer if you borrow, and which is not right also, but I prefer if you borrow from the business and it takes you a longer while to pay back than stealing from the business.
Because there's upfront honesty. That's like,
I don't know, like stealing from the business is very sad.
It's horrible. So you've had all this instances of people stealing. How do you curtail it? Like, what are some of the things you've learned so far that helped you?
Stealing starts from the inventory. Inventory to kitchen in food business. Inventory to kitchen, that's where the stealing happens. If you don't have a good inventory management system, they're going to steal from you. And this does not mean that stealing will not happen. Just like in fintechs, fraud will always happen. But the idea is that, to what percentage? Can you reduce your stealing to like 3%, 5%? And why I say 3%, 5% is that you can chalk it under wastage, which sometimes sits around 10% for food businesses. So if stealing is happening at 3-5% and wastage is happening at, like, let's say, between 2 to 5% also, you chalk up everything at 10% and you accept that
wastage.
This is wastage. So to check that, it starts from proper inventory keeping. And inventory keeping is not just record first in, first out. No. It's if one cup leaves the kitchen, the store, down to the kitchen, that one cup should yield XYZ amount in Naira. or in dollars. It has to be that clear.
Yeah, yeah. You
And
have to be
that's
able to
where,
track your
yeah,
inventory
that's
to
where
revenue.
to revenue. It has to be that clear. And it's tough business for most people, to be honest. It's why, for example, we don't do things like rice. We can do, we do burgers and potatoes and everything because we can count. We know like 1 kg of potato, we know how many pieces it's supposed to give us, roughly.
Mhm.
How many pieces it's supposed to give us and how that should translate to naira. We know like if you buy a basket of tomatoes and pepper, how many liters of sauce that should give you
Mhm.
and what it translates to. So it starts from that inventory to that, but then you have to know your business. A mistake that we made when we just were interested in the taste. Oh, this looks good. People like the food.
Mhm.
But you need to sit down at the back end and understand how these things flow, how like the components of making the food happen. So yeah, inventory is the first thing. Inventory management is the first thing.
Interesting. Interesting. So inventory management to curtail is like a super important bit to curtail fraud. Is that the only thing?
That's the major thing. There are many other things actually. They should pay.
All right, I
Yeah.
get it.
No, so inventory management is a major thing. And also why I say inventory management, because it covers everything, even from supply.
Okay.
The person going to the market is going to go and get things for supply.
Mhm.
That's why the stealing can happen from there
Mm.
also.
Mm.
So they tell you 100,000 would get you 2 cartons of turkey, for example.
Mhm.
But maybe a carton of turkey is actually 35,000, that kind of thing. Or they've done some negotiation with, they just like, maybe they buy a carton of turkey, they remove some pieces in the carton of turkey,
Mm.
they tell you it's 10 kg. So when it comes from the market, what you have is 8 kg, but you know weight, you just feel like, okay, it's 10
It's 10
kg,
kg.
and you just take it into the two, from supply. So the way for supply is, I suggest most times you use a trusted procurement platform. It might sound expensive at the beginning. It might look expensive. It might look like, okay, you're not getting the best, but truth be told, you're getting the best deal.
You're saving.
Yeah. So, for example, we've started to explore things with platforms like Golemon,
Mm-hmm.
which is, they do groceries for individuals, but they also do like for businesses and call. Like, we should explore with those kind of people where like, and even there are a couple of other businesses that do like procurement. Explore with them. They procure for you. You know that you're getting exactly what you're paying for.
Yeah.
You might be losing a bargain of 2% on negotiation pricing,
Mhm.
but even if you negotiate, you get a good bargain. But you know exactly that you're getting what you paid for, and it comes in. The only time I suggest where you don't use a procurement platform is when you need like special spices that you need to go to the market yourself to process. But for example, when we're making our suya pepper, we have to go to market to get those spices ourselves. We have a way we want to buy them. So those are like the only things that I might say, okay, go to the market yourself to get and buy, but use a procurement platform.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. That's really solid advice. Um. All right. So you've given advice. You've shared lessons that you've learned. If you had to start knife fries, or you had to start a food business today,
Mhm.
3 key lessons you know now that you didn't know when you first. I mean, I don't know whether I don't know which of the first now, whether it's 2021 or 20. Let's go from 2021 because lessons of 2013 are very far ago.
And the first thing is cooking is different from the business.
Mm,
Um,
interesting. Because
yeah,
a lot of people go, oh, I can cook. I should start
yeah,
a food business.
it's extremely different from the business, and I think I learned that late because if you're too invested in the cooking, at some point you start to kill the business. If, for example, today you need to make a choice of cutting down a particularly expensive spice and replacing it with a less expensive one, not that you're tampering with the quality, you're going to make it clear, but because you're probably a purist. I used to be a purist in cooking for like, oh no, we have to use this, we have to use that. But you don't want to increase your price because you know you're going to chase your customers away. You need to separate that passion of purist cooking from the business.
Okay.
If you want to be a purist in cooking, then go for high end cooking. So if I start knife fries today again, or any food business, I would understand and ask myself, do I want to do the high end cooking or the mass cooking? If I want to do the mass cooking, I could have a mass business and have like the high end cooking also at the same time. That's so cooking is different from the business. And I will take a course on unit economics. I believe more food business owners than any other, apart from people that run like pharmaceutical businesses, or you need to take a course on unit economics.
And for the people that don't know what unit economics is, what's that?
So basically, like all the factors that come together the components that build up your final product, understanding how that works and how to like optimize the operations there. Why it's important is a number of times we like to outsource. Outsourcing is great. I will outsource things I know I cannot, but while you outsource, you should understand what is happening also. I don't cook
Mhm.
anymore for knife rice. I used to cook for knife rice. But if I give you certain items, I know exactly what should come out of there because I understand the experience there. Same with the finances. I'm not saying become a finance professional. You still need to hire a proper finance person,
Mhm.
but understand unit economics, how it works. So that when they are talking to you, you're not lost.
Yeah.
And you're not getting cloudy and all like that. So yeah, so unit economics. Um the 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 third thing is still tying back to unit economics is, I mean, people say it a lot, but cash is always king. Cash is always king.
Mm.
And credit is good. But credit, how you get the credit should be, you should avoid cash credit for me as a business.
Mhm.
I think you should go more for inventory credit or
And why?
if you get cash credits as a business, there's always something else to do with the money. So you get the credit like, or want to like stock up our store for XYZ ABC and all like that for these like 3 months. And you come in and you find out that one pipe is leaking somewhere. Oh, it's going to
Mm.
affect customers. But that's not what you got the money for. You might want to now say, okay, let's use part of the money for this pipe fixing. We'll buy food with this other one and maybe we'll make money. And that's where it starts to get messy.
Mm.
So I usually advise that you go for inventory financing. You want to get XYZ, get money for that, let it be paid directly to the suppliers. Hardly should you ever, as a business, I think, food business in particular, collect cash credits.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Unless, of course, you have a cash flow issue, maybe like.
Yeah, or maybe you want to like do some construction project or something.
Mm.
That's different. Yeah, I mean, even in construction project, if possible, pay the contractor directly. So going into business, um, don't do it actually. Don't do it. So like I think running a business can be like a drug.
Mm.
Sometimes you know that why I say don't do it is businesses can like a drug to let it go. Sometimes business is dying.
Mhm.
It's usually hard for entrepreneurs to like let go of that
Let go of
business.
business.
It is that it is a certain level of maturity or experience after not letting go a couple of times to start knowing that okay, you need to let go of this business. And it kills people. Maybe not physically, which it does actually sometimes physically. It kills people mentally, like they just feel like they are failures. It becomes like learned failure.
Mm.
So because you try the business, you did not let it go off almost immediately, you feel like you can't do any other thing and it just becomes like a depressing one. A lot of founders that I've seen, I mean, they smile out there and everything like that, but it's a very lonely path
Mm.
for business. So what I would say is learn to let go as quickly as possible and do not operate in a silo. A lot of business guys are operating in silos, like they don't talk to people, particularly in this part of our world where you're feeling everybody's out to steal your idea. Nobody's trying to steal your idea. Share, talk to people, ask people about stuff. That's what I would say. Don't like. I'm not going to advise on scaling. I mean, there's a lot of advice there on distribution, which I think you should always figure out before you start a food business or
Mhm.
any, like how exactly are you going to distribute. Think of distribution before you start a business. That's very
Yeah.
important. Most people like start a business and start now think of distribution later. That's like the dumbest thing to do as
Mm.
any business founder. But that aside, please don't operate in silos. Like your life is very important. I mean, if you die, all the thousand ideas in your head, nobody's going to
Anyways,
execute them.
anyways.
So I think that more business owners, but going to start a business, get people around you. And if it is not working, either you pivot. If you collect investor funds, please always pivot. Don't return money. Always pivot. Do not return money. No, to be honest, I would say that quickly. Investors understand that businesses can fail.
Mhm.
But when you return that money to them, it's like you're taking them back to ground zero. Like they have
Mm.
to now start starting for where to put the money again.
Yeah.
But if you pivot, like you move from what you are to
Mhm.
another product, it gives them confidence that okay, you're not dying, you're going to try
I'm
again,
going to
that kind
try
of thing.
something else. Yeah.
So yeah, so
So they may get their
yeah.
returns back.
So in summary, okay things. First of all, don't do business. But if you now decide to do
Do
business,
business.
ensure that you should be ready to let go of and pivot if need be, and surround yourself with people that can provide advice and give a helping hand when needed, because it's a very lonely path, actually.
Thank you for that. I will, I will not do business. Yeah, thank you. This is so helpful. I think I've learned a lot. Um, and because the one thing we didn't talk about so far is like growth strategies that you use for new fries. Oh, you did talk about something actually where you said you sent food out to like super specific people that you knew would talk about the food. Were there any other really interesting ideas you tried out while trying to grow knife fries?
So, because of my background, for those who might not know, I have a background in growth and marketing. I've always focused on communities,
Mhm.
like how to use communities to drive growth. We have not really explored any other. I mean, in fact, we've not done marketing. I'll be honest with you, because with marketing comes expectations. We've randomly had people, like one time we had a very popular influencer, Mr. Macaroni,
Mhm.
try out our burger and he just tweeted about it.
Yeah.
So
Did
our
did Don Jazzy not tweet about your burger one time?
no, no, he has his own burger, right?
Oh yeah, he has a burger.
So our focus has always been like, how do you make the food good enough, maintain the quality for people to taste it and talk about it. So that goes for us. Marketing starts from like the recipe,
Yeah.
the box that we used
The
to send out,
experience.
the entire experience of eating the burger and all like that. So that's one. And for people thinking about marketing and growth, truth is that marketing growth starts from your product itself.
Mm-hmm.
So not even just food,
Always.
the entire product starts from the product and what it has been embedded into the product. Another form of marketing that we're looking to try, and I hope to try soon, is more like a viral campaign.
Mm-hmm.
One I thought of was going to gyms, because knife rice is, I say it clearly, is not for healthy living. It's
Mm-hmm.
for you want to have a cheat day, and everything, so it's not for that. So going to the gym and giving people cards and asking them when last did you cheat, that kind of thing. You know it's a gym, but nobody will think about you're talking about cheat days until they turn around, that kind of thing. And I want to like the kind of conversations that will come up from that and all like that. Just viral campaigns. We've not yet experimented paid marketing. We would once we have more branches,
Oh, interesting.
because investing in paid marketing right now might not necessarily, might just put a lot of pressure on. But if we have like a spread of branches, yes, we would experiment paid marketing. Uh, so yeah, that's the. But for me, if you're going into marketing, the very first thing is people want to trust you. They're giving you money, so they need to trust you. And how do people trust you is by recommendations.
Yeah.
That's why till today our go-to approach to marketing is still influencer marketing.
Mm.
So we look at people that are not just food influencers, people that are lifestyle people, like people that you trust their opinions on
Opinions and
lifestyle
stuff. Yeah.
choices. We reach out to them and we speak to them, and that works for us. So your marketing should always be about how am I motivating trust and communicating that I make this person's life better
Mm.
by doing this.
All right. All right. All right.
Mhm.
Awesome. Awesome. That's so good. That's so good. I don't think I have any more questions to ask you
Oh
because this
really?
has been. Should I ask more questions?
You can ask if you.
I think covered a lot
Mhm.
about the food business in particular, what your experience building, and I think that this will genuinely be super impactful for anyone listening. I've learned a few things. I think that's one of the things I really like about this conversation is that I get to learn a few things either about industry, about how people have sold stuff, and
Mhm.
and it's useful information that I can either pass on or maybe who knows when I start my food business. I said I was going to start a food business in one of the other. I can't remember. Um, when I start that one,
You
I
take it
think I know
off.
it's Eddie Kaikon or afang.ng from previous episode.
Yeah.
When I start that one, I'll keep this in mind.
Oh,
All right. Thank you so much for coming, Feranmi.
thank
This
you.
has been super helpful. Where can we find Knife Rise?
Right now we are restructuring to, because it's about making money.
Mm-hmm.
No offense to certain people that live in certain parts of Lagos, but there are parts of Lagos that make us more money.
Oh,
So we're
wow.
optimizing to
Wow.
position there, but we still have. So we're going to have like two branches:
Mm-hmm.
one to serve the mainland, one to serve the island,
Mm-hmm.
and that's more because, for example, with Chowdeck, there's a certain radius that you can serve with, and also we're looking at time to value. When people order the food, how soon do they get it? So right now,
Yes.
people from Ireland have to order from us, and they get our food within 40 minutes to an hour. Even though we have people that claim to do Suya burgers that are like us, they have to like, and they're not as good as us. I say it anyway. They have to order from those people because of the time to value.
Yeah.
So that time to value, we're trying to reduce that time to value. So in about a month or two, you'll be able to get 9 fries from Chowdeck, either you're on the island or on the
On the
mainland.
mainland, on Lagos mainland.
For mainland, we're exploring branches in Bagada and Surulere,
Okay.
while for the island, somewhere in Lekki.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice, nice. And can people order online?
Yeah, sure. 9 fries will come with live, will be live by then. So yes.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's not just a lot of people call it. Maybe I hope this podcast goes far. I really hope it does, and it
It
should.
will, it will.
People call it knee fries, and I
I
understand
used to.
why they
I used
call
to
it
call
knee
it knee
fries.
fries.
But you see, when I was making my pitch to get the first money for the business, we didn't have a name. Oh, we are doing akara, which is the bean cakes, fried yam, sweet potato plantain. Let's just call it Nigerian fries. Okay, Nigerian fries. Let's just shorten it into 9 fries, and that was how the name came up. There was
Oh, so
there
it's
was there was,
Nigerian fries.
yeah, it was Nigerian. So we didn't have a name. I was like, hey, okay, let's just call it 9 fries. So we got there. That was how we just thought about it.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, because that's what I started with.
9 fries, Nigerian
Yeah.
fries, 9 fries. Get 9 fries, 9 fries, brother.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on. This has been a really insightful conversation.
Thank you.
I've learned a lot. Like I said, I'm pretty sure the viewers I've learned a lot. Catch us same time, same channel for our future episodes of Build Your Own Business, where we talk to entrepreneurs about their pure unfiltered stories of pain,
Theft.
and ultimately success. It's been a fun time. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe on all channels. Share with your friends. Share with people who like 9 fries burger and people who won't eat 9 fries burger. I remain your host, Hachi. See you next time.